Hi, I'm Sam, and this is Tarot for Writing. Today, we're going to take a look at the Ace of Cups. That's right, we're moving into a whole new suit. If you're new to the channel, this is a series I'm doing where I'm taking a look at every single card in the tarot deck, spending a little bit of time with it on that particular day, and kind of making sure I have a good understanding of its definition. I also zero in on a detail that maybe I haven't noticed before. And then I wrap it up by sharing how I would use a card like this in my fiction writing. I'm a paranormal romance author, and I use tarot cards every day to spark my creativity, help me create my characters, and flesh out my stories. So let's dive right in. So the Ace of Cups, like all aces, is the seed, the potential, or the early stages of whatever that suit represents. So here in the Ace of Cups, we're talking about the early stages or the potential for things like love, joy, beauty, and happiness, because the Cup of Suits deals with emotions. And what I love with this imagery is the joy and hopefulness it depicts. It's one of these your cup runneth over kind of moments, isn't it? It also to me speaks of spiritual fulfillment, and I like to think of this card as the card of intuition, kind of related to the High Priestess and the water that surrounds her. So much for a definition. Let's zero in on a detail. And what caught my attention today is the letter on the cup that you can see here. So there's a little bit of a debate whether that letter is the letter W or an upside down letter M. I kind of liked what Benebell Wen had to say in her book Holistic Tarot about this. She thinks it's the letter M in reverse. In fact, she thinks it is the Greek letter mu, which is related to the Phoenician letter mem, which means water. And that kind of makes a whole lot of sense to me. But of course, that brings up the question, why is it on there in reverse? If we're dealing with tarot here, and in tarot, often one interpretation or one way to look at reversed cards is that it means the untapped potential. So if the Ace of Cup means joy, then Ace of Cup in reverse would mean that that joy isn't something we've tapped into yet. We haven't opened ourselves up to the possibility of receiving that joy, of getting there. But the potential is there, and we have a chance at joy and happiness if we're open to it. So that kind of like a similar interpretation with the letter M and water, meaning the untapped potential. So this is a symbol for the potential energy of water, which, as I mentioned, represents emotions, coming forth and flowing out of the cup. So I would love to hear your take on this. What do you think? Is it an M? Is it a W? And what does it mean? What do you think? Do you agree with Benebell's interpretation like I do? Or do you think it's something completely different? I'd love to hear about it. So I'd appreciate a comment below. And then let's move into how I would use a card like this in my fiction writing. So when I'm creating a character, this card makes me think of somebody very romantic. Someone who maybe wears their heart on their sleeve. Or somebody who is out there actively looking for love. Maybe they are using a dating app. Or maybe they're seeking the help of an old-fashioned matchmaker. There's a lot of fun ideas to play with there, especially in the paranormal romance market, or in those kind of stories, those kind of books. or maybe it is simply somebody with a very optimistic outlook and a sunny disposition. For some reason, I'm not really sure why, but as I thought about those characteristics, it made me think kindergarten teacher. You know, just somebody sunny and welcoming who just adores all the children in their classroom, that kind of thing. And then when it comes to using tarot to layer in a little bit more interest in my chapters, or to get an idea of what might happen next in the story in those kind of situations, I often zero in on just a little detail or a vibe that I get from the card and use that to inspire me to come up with something. And as I was looking at this card this morning, it made me think of a fountain. So maybe there is a fountain in town that my love interests go to, and maybe one of them tosses a coin into the fountain and makes a wish. It also made me think of a pond or a lake with lily pads, because we see the lily pads in this picture. And I thought that would create a interesting, nice scene, you know, maybe a place for my couple to go take a walk or that kind of thing. And then we have, like in all of the aces and the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith cards, there is a hand coming out of a cloud. And this makes me think of maybe we have somebody who's giving advice or lending a helping hand in a matter of the heart. So maybe we're at a point in the story, and remember I write romance, where our couple is having a little hiccup on their journey towards happily ever after. Or maybe we're at the dark moment where all hope seems lost toward the end of the story, and we have another character show up and give them a helping hand to have that heart-to-heart conversation, or to encourage them, nudge them, give them some idea on what they can do to turn this ship around and salvage the relationship. And then we have all this water flowing, and we also have these, to me they look like droplets. In many of the guidebooks they're referred to as trees from the Tree of Life. But in this particular version of the Rider-Waite-Smith, which by the way is the Smith-Waite Centennial Edition, they are clearly blue and they look like drops of water to me. And that, combined with the cloud that the hand is reaching out of, made me think of a rainstorm. So maybe my couple is getting caught in a big downpour and they have to go seek shelter. And of course, all sorts of fun things can happen after that. And then last but not least, you know, going back to the idea of this pond or lake, what if there is a swimming hole nearby and my couple goes for a dip, or maybe this is where they first meet or something like that. So there's a lot of imagery, you know, we haven't really even talked about the dove yet or anything like that. There's a lot of things we can pull out of a card like that. Even something like the fact that there's 5 streams of water coming through. If I'm working on an outline for a new series or something, that might inspire me to have 5 characters who come from the same family, who are all very connected, love each other very much, or 5 best friends, that kind of thing. So there's a lot you can pull from a card like this to help in your fiction writing and to spark some ideas. I hope what I shared about the Ace of Cups helped you or inspired you to use tarot maybe in a new way, see this card a little differently, or you know, even if it just inspires you the next time you do a daily draw, that you spend a little bit more time looking at every single item and symbol and depiction in the card. I'm amazed at how many new things I discover, even though I've been working with these cards for years, something I never really paid much attention to or thought much about. So it's an interesting exercise. I thank you for following along. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I'd love it if you would subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back in the next few videos as we go through the rest of the suit of cups. I can't wait to share those with you.